If you've been interacting with language learning content in any shape or form, then the almighty algorithm has probably presented you with some of these, those get fluent in 1 to 3 month ads. Okay, so real quick, I was doing some research for this video and I came across some really interesting ads. I'm gonna play 2 of them side by side and tell me if you notice anything weird.
¿Dónde eres?
Soy de Guadalajara, Mexico.
Cool, but can you speak English?
Of course, even though I came to the US just 3 months ago, I can already speak English very well.
Wow, that's amazing. How did you learn so fast?
With Learn AI, of course.
Vamos a empezar a practicar inglés. What is your name?
My name is Diego.
How old are you?
I have 22.
¿Quisiste decir I'm 22?
Sí, es verdad. I'm 22.
Maria, where are you from?
I am de
I'm
Mexico.
Mexico.
María, buen intento, pero tienes que decir I am from Mexico.
Perdón, siempre me equivoco. I am from Mexico.
No pasa nada. Vamos a mejorar tu inglés hablando todos los días juntos. Descarga ahora y empieza a practicar.
Yeah, so not only do these ads appear to be nearly identical, but also AI generated. The people who are claiming to have used the apps to get fluent aren't even real people. Super duper misleading and just one of many examples of how malicious these ads can get with deceiving people. More specifically, I've seen ads like, we need to make this person disappear for a month and come back fluent in Japanese. This is basically the language learning version of those fitness abs that promise 6-pack abs in 30 days. Except instead of abs, they promise you perfect pronunciation, native level listening, and complete mastery of the language before you have to pay your next Netflix bill. Now, setting aside all of those very obvious get fluent fast schemes, the main issue I have with these sort of advertisements is it preys on this feeling that we have at the beginning of our study journeys, that maybe we just need to find the right method that will finally click, and this could be the one. But all these are doing are setting super unrealistic expectations and making people feel like failures, even when they have a really good shot at getting good at the language. So for those of you who have been lucky enough to not get these in your feed, let's look at one ad together. We need 15 people who must become fluent in Japanese by next month. 0 excuses, total transformation, start today. 1 month. Now the clickbait did work on me and I did decide to click on this ad for the video because I wanted to dive in and see, well, just what kind of study method could get someone so fluent in just 30 days. So apparently here's how it works. It's something called a daily speaking loop. We watch a short Japanese phrase or clip, such as an anime line or a travel scene. Repeat it out loud with an AI tutor. We'll go back to that one in a sec. Get instant corrections and try again. Speak back in your own words, then gradually level up to longer, more natural conversations. And apparently, just 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough to start building fluency. Okay, well, let's go ahead and multiply that 5 to 10 minutes a day by 30, right? There's about 30 days in a month. So 150 minutes, 150 to 300 minutes, which is 5 hours at the most. Hold on, is that right? 2.5 to 5 hours. Okay, so if you spend 2.5 to 5 hours talking to an AI tutor that will correct you, you will be able to speak fluent Japanese after just 30 days. That sounds amazing, right? But then also, let's just make this more realistic, right? Let's just assume that I ring up my friend Tanaka and I say, hey Tanaka, let's call for 5 to 10 minutes a day and practice Japanese. And can you please, for every mistake I make, correct me and tell me the more natural way to say it, and I'll write down and take notes. Now, first of all, that's a lot, right? So if we just take a 5 to 10 minute conversation of talking, about 80 to 90% of that is going to be filled up with just note-taking and being like, oh, 1 second, Tanaka, I need to actually note down every word you told me. So how many minutes of actual conversation are there? Now I get it though, with the AI, you could pick up where you left off, but I still think it's interesting that you're telling me that if you spoke with an AI tutor for 5 hours total, you'd be fluent in Japanese. It's honestly kind of impressive to me how confidently these companies can lie. The thing for me, and you've probably heard a lot of other people say this, is that we all have our own definitions of fluency. But I do think generally a lot of people agree that being fluent in a language means being able to command and use it at a comfortable level. That takes a lot of time, work, effort, and consistency. But these companies will just say fluent like it's something you can just achieve and move on from. And that's one of the other big roots of this issue, redefining fluent, right? We saw that on that website there that they talked about learning travel lines from anime and memorizing them, right? And using them in conversation. Well, here, you might see some places redefining fluency as being able to order a sandwich from your favorite sandwich store, or even just talking about your day or the weather. Because apparently, if you're able to have even just a single conversation about one topic, that automatically makes you fluent. And I also think it's really cool to have any conversation in your target language, but what these ads are promising is not fluency. They're relying on the fact that most people don't stick with this product long enough because they feel like it didn't work for them. In their head, they think, oh, this app didn't work for me. I'm not good at learning languages. And they won't actually realize that there's something inherently wrong with how the application itself is set up. Let's say the man in black came in here right now and they just erased all the Japanese from my head for some reason, and I tried this app, right? Well, first off, I'm a huge JoJo's fan, so maybe on day 0 or day 1, I try to watch JoJo without any subtitles or with Japanese subs, and obviously I'm gonna have 0% comprehension. But since this app tells me that I could get fluent in just 30 days or 5 hours of talking to a tutor, then maybe after those 30 days or even halfway through, I'm gonna go over to JoJo's and I'm gonna try to watch one of those episodes. For those of you who are curious, here is the difficulty ranking for JoJo as well as the number of unique words in the entire series. You're telling me that I can memorize all of those in just 5 hours? I'm sorry, but that's just not humanly possible. So yeah, my hypothetical self is gonna get super demotivated because the ad told me 30 days and I'm still not fluent after 30 days. Why can't I still watch JoJo's after 30 days, right? And then I'm gonna give up on Japanese because I might have the mindset that, oh, well, maybe I'm just bad at learning languages. Maybe learning Japanese just isn't for me. When honestly, they just got off on the wrong start due to malicious advertisements like this. Okay, let me look for another. I have another one, hold on. Here's another one also focused around, once again, an AI tutor. This app gets you coming up with your own sentences from day 1. Now I have the confidence to speak in the language I'm trying to learn. And then in the description of the post, it says, maintaining streaks does not equal speaking fluently. Try Sylvie, where you chat to learn from day 1. If I'm being completely honest, if you're traveling to Japan next month, let's say, and you don't know any Japanese, and you just want to memorize some phrases as well as learn to listen for those generic replies, I mean, yeah, I could see that, right? If you want to ask where the toilet is or where the nearest train is, and you need to learn words like migi, hidari, masugu, or stuff like that, right? I get it, that's a very limited set of vocab, but it could be useful for travel. But that's not how these apps are framing it. They're teaching you how to speak from day 1, using vocab that you don't even know. Look at this, 10,000 likes, 189 comments, and 211 shares in the DMs. Now, quick educational note, because I do want to make this video worth your time. There's something called output theory. Now, I'm not sure if these apps are aware of this or just completely misconstruing it, but the output theory states that outputting in a language helps you, but you need to have a solid foundational knowledge in the language first. It doesn't state that you should output from day 0, but rather that when you build up your vocabulary and have some solid level of base fluency, that you can start practicing and speaking with natives. Because at some point, once you get good enough at a language through speaking and conversing back and forth with people, you're still gonna pick up more and more because it's just a lot of listening with some production thrown in there. I wanna dive a bit more into the psychology behind these ads and how they manipulate people because I think it's really dirty. You're gonna see words thrown around like AI-powered, neuroscience-based, or revolutionary method just to make it sound legitimate. They're gonna show someone who's been studying for years and imply that they got those results from the app. When I first started Japanese, I was in high school, big fan of anime, and I just wanted to watch it without subtitles. I know that sounds very generic, but that's literally where my headspace was at. So I fell into that mindset, right? I wanted to get fluent fast. I wanted to do whatever it took to be able to sit down and watch Soul Eater, no subs, and just, kind of flex on my friends. I thought it'd be pretty cool. But the more I learned, the more I realized that fluency isn't some clean finish line you cross. It's actually like climbing a mountain, reaching the peak, and then another mountain appears. But oddly enough for me, that actually makes it fun. If you think about your native language, for example, let's go with English. There are a lot of times where I'm reading books or watching shows that there's just words I don't know. Like my native language, I've been speaking it for 24, going on 20. Oh wait, I guess I was a baby at some point. I've been speaking my native tongue for 20 plus years, and there are still words I come across that I just don't know. So does that really make me fluent in English? That's up to you to define, but I do think overall, you don't need to learn every word in the language to consider yourself fluent. And also with Japanese, it is not a race, it's a marathon. As long as you're in it for the long term and give yourself realistic expectations, which is the very thing these ads are going against, you're gonna make it. Somewhere along the way, I just kind of stopped worrying about when I'd be fluent and started enjoying the process itself. I chose content that as a human, I just legitimately enjoyed, anime that I've watched in English, and just swapped everything to Japanese. After rinsing and repeating, watching stuff, reading, I'd realize, hey, I actually recognized every word in that line this time, and it was really motivating. A lot of these companies know exactly what they're doing. They're just selling dopamine, not results. Now, a lot of you watching this video might be native Japanese speakers even, advanced learners, intermediate learners, beginners, or even people just thinking about getting into studying Japanese. So a lot of us may look at these ads and already know that it's straight up, but a lot of people wanting to get into learning Japanese may not know just how much time and effort it takes. So when they stumble upon these ads that do claim to get you fluent in 1 to 3 months, they take it at face value. What really bothers me about these is that you're taking all of the spark and motivation from beginners and abusing that and telling them they can get fluent in a few months, and then you're setting them up for disappointment. People who are legitimately interested in the language and culture, and they're squashing it like a bug. I don't know how else to say it. So for those of you kicking off your Japanese journey or looking to get into it, here is the honest truth. Fluency is not something that is built in mere months. It's built in small, fleeting moments that you repeat 1,000 times. It's not grand and glamorous. You're not dialing it from 0 to 100, but rather you're watching a show and realizing that you understood one more sentence than last time. It's that great feeling of reading something and recognizing a word that you mined 3 weeks ago. That's the kind of progress that actually lasts, but of course it doesn't sell well in an ad. Hence all of these intrusive, misleading advertisements. If you've ever fallen for one of those get fluent in 90-day ads, don't beat yourself up. The problem isn't you, it's the fact that these people are selling a fantasy. They make it look effortless, when real learning is full of confusion, repetition, and tiny wins that build up over time. And that's what makes it cool, because when you finally get something, it's real. You earned it. Next time you see one of those ads saying you'll be fluent in 3 months, just remember, they're not selling you language skills, they're selling you dopamine. The only people getting fluent that fast are the marketers in the language of manipulation. I'm sorry. I had to, I'm sorry. Language learning is slow, it's messy, and it's real, but that's what makes it worth it. You don't need shortcuts, you just need curiosity, a bit of time, and patience. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So keep learning, stay consistent, and don't let an ad tell you that your progress doesn't count. See ya.